What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We got a super awesome unboxing today for the iPhone Air. This is my first iPhone Air case unboxing that I'm doing, so really excited about this. This phone is actually really awesome. I've really enjoyed using this phone on the day-to-day and just how thin it is and how well it fits in your hand. But I'm extremely excited to unbox this Mous case. Thank you so much to Mous for sending this over. I've been a big fan of Mous. You can find a discount code and any links down in the description if you want to pick this up during it. And if you like these videos, please make sure to like and subscribe. But let's get into the unboxing. All right, so typical Mous unboxing. This is their standard packaging, a little bit about the case on the back. And then you just pull this back flap up, and this kind of opens up into the case itself. And then it does come in this nice paper, and then a little bit about warranty and some other warnings, but nothing really too important there. All right, and here is the case. This is their Limitless for the Air in walnut. This is this wood. They have a bunch of different options that you can choose from, so you can kind of pick your favorite. This one is really nice though, and you kind of get this nice walnut wood finish along with the black. So really nice look there. I think it's gonna look really good on the Air. Just taking a look around the case, first off, we're gonna pull the sides, see how those do. You know, a little bit of pull over by the buttons and everything, but it's even by the camera button, and on the sides, really no pull there. On the top, great. Let's bend it back and forth. No cracking, nothing like that. And on the inside, you can see the green on every corner. That's their patented Air Shock gel. So you can see it on the bottoms there as well. So that's gonna give this case extremely good drop protection, military grade, plus and beyond that. I'm sure you guys have seen their commercials and everything where they throw it off a building and it lands and the phone is fine. And then on the corners here, you can see along the top, it kind of raises up here, goes along that top and then onto the other corner. And they also have that along the bottom as well. So extremely good protection coming from this case. On the inside, you do get a nice microfiber slash suede interior to help with any of those micro scratches from dust or little particles that could get in behind your iPhone. And then you can see there as well for the MagSafe ring that is implemented inside the case itself. On the side, you can see fully integrated buttons. So big thumbs up there, camera control button, and then a lanyard hole on that side. On the other side, you can see another lanyard hole and then fully integrated power up and down rockers and fully integrated action button there. And then again, these little textured sides to help with grip. Checking out the bottom, you do have the speaker grills fully cut out. Now the Air does have a lot less speakers than a Pro or a regular 17, so those are gonna be a little bit smaller, but still nice full cutouts, and then a nice generous USB-C cutout there as well. And then taking a look at the camera plateau, you do have a fully stuck out kind of ridge around that like most cases are these days. It is going to stick out past the camera lenses, but I'll show you that once we get the case onto the phone itself, but still going to get really good protection. And this is very sturdy, so you're not going to need to worry about that like bouncing or cracking or anything like that. And then just a little note here that you can see that the corners are wider. You know, we saw this on the 17 Pro Max in their Limitless series, but it does kind of jut out more towards the corner. So, and then at the bottoms a little bit. So in your natural holding position, it's gonna be a little bit thinner on those sides, but still not interrupt any of that screen protection with raised edges. And again, I'll show you that once we get the phone into the case. And then one last thing is just their standard logo there at the bottom. They don't have it up at the camera top anymore with their other logo, so just one minimalistic one down there. All right, and let's get this ultra thin phone into this ultra slim case. Can't wait to see how this feels and how well it fits. Start with the bottom there and then snap the top in, and right off the bat, this phone in the case feels amazing. It feels so good, so grippy. I really love how thin the Air is. If you haven't tested it out or gone to an Apple store, please go and do that because it's actually phenomenal how good this feels compared to any other iPhone. I think it is my favorite one to hold. I just wish a Pro was that thin because the lack of cameras and everything on the Air is something, but not really anything we can talk about in this video. But let's start going over the case. So looking at the sides, you know, that pull everything, sides like that, you know, a little bit at the top, not bad. but you do get really good screen protection over, especially in the corners and over on the sides. Kind of like I showed you where it kind of bevels off there. You still get really good protection on each side, so that's really great. And then especially at the tops and bottoms, you do get that full screen protection as well, and then a little cutout for the speakers there. And then just doing a little rock test, maybe a little bit side to side. Obviously there, nothing on the bottom. I'm actually kind of surprised that there is a little bit side to side, because obviously there's really nothing different about the case on either side, but you do get a tiny bit, but really nothing really crazy at all. And then let's take a look at the buttons. Fully integrated buttons. Mous usually has great ones, so probably no less on the Air. Yep, those 4 buttons are absolutely fantastic. Typical mouse case buttons, fully integrated, very responsive, very nice and clicky. And it does come with a fully integrated camera button, so that's really nice, especially for how thin this case is. Let's take a look at that. Very nice and responsive right off the bat. I don't know if anyone in the game besides maybe Apple does it better than Mous. And obviously there's a few less settings within the Air to scroll through, but you do get some within there that you can change. But very responsive, very nice. And this is kind of flat, flat along the sides. A little bit of an indentation just to kind of guide your finger there, but really not dug in at all. Very easy to get your finger there and kind of guides its way to be able to get it every single time. Very responsive, so kudos to Mous for adding this into this case. And then again, looking at the top, you can see that, you know, these corners are raised over on the top, so really good protection if you do drop your phone like that, or if it hits a corner. Probably one of the most likely spots for it to hit is just directly on a corner there, so really good that they added protection there, and then that added protection onto the bottom. And while we're at the bottom, we can take a look at these openings, full speaker openings there. You can see that they are much smaller, but really generous USB-C port, so going to be able to fit anything in there that you might need in terms of charging, which is really nice. And then just taking a look at the camera plateau, you know, you can see that it is, you know, fully integrated there and covers everything. Going to this side, I'll zoom in on this. You can see that it does go in there a good amount. So if you drop your phone like that, you know, you're still going to get full protection, which is really good. You're not going to need to worry about breaking this camera lens or anything like that, or the flash, as Mous is very protective and always has been, which is one of the reasons why I can't recommend them enough. And then taking a look at MagSafe, we do have MagSafe in this. Just initial pull test, maybe not exactly the strongest. Do a bounce test. Maybe not the strongest, but it's still nice that it is MagSafe, kind of with this walnut wood. I'm sure is taking a little bit of that off. I maybe wouldn't suggest putting a wallet on this, as it is a little weaker, and this magnet, this Taurus ring, is pretty strong, but it still has MagSafe, and if you're just using it in your car or charging your phone overnight or something like that, it's gonna work perfectly fine for you. I typically don't keep a wallet on the back of my phone in case I lose one of them. I don't wanna lose both of them. All right, so overall rating for the iPhone Air Taurus case in walnut. I'm changing up my scales. The numbers don't really matter. And they don't really make sense. So we're going on a happiness scale now. So I'm putting this on the very happy, the right side. Love Mous cases, they're great. And just how thin this case is on this phone, and just how good it feels, you know, texture wise on the sides. It feels phenomenal to hold. Obviously with the wood, maybe a little bit slicker, but it still does have some grip, which is really nice. And then these textured sides and the grip, and just how well this phone and this case fits in your hand. It's just an absolute 10 out of 10. I know I said I wouldn't use numbers, but it is 10 out of 10 and a 5 on the happiness scale. So thank you so much to Mous for sending me this case over. I really appreciate the partnership with you guys. If you do want to pick one of these up, you can check the links in the description and in the pinned comment below. And please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel as we try to make our way to 1350. Or if we're already past that point and you're watching this, just like and subscribe because it helps the channel. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.